Hey everyone, I'm Larry Geyer, and I am honored and grateful to be able to be speaking with you guys today. What I want you to know before anything else is I promise you I will not waste 1 minute of your time. I promise you I will not waste 1 minute of your time. What we are here to do is to discuss turning pro. What does it mean? What's required of it? Why it matters? And how do we do it? Let's take a look. One of the biggest issues, frustrations that we hear from the fitness industry all the time is that fitness professionals are unfulfilled by it, by and large. They are unfulfilled by a couple of different things. The first is that they feel unable to solve certain problems that their members or clients are dealing with. So think about that time where you ran into the brick wall of, oh, what do I do here for this person? This person has been in this place a million times. It came up again. What is the next right thing to do? I've certainly experienced that frustration. The next one is that for a lot of them, they just very simply don't earn the kind of income that they need to live the kind of life that they want and need. They're not making the kind of money they want. They're coaches, they're personal trainers, they're gym owners who are working other jobs, sometimes 2 other jobs because they love this and they want to serve, but they're just not earning the kind of money that allows them to actually do this legitimately, professionally. The next big frustration that we see all the time is that fitness professionals aren't really viewed as true professionals. There are countless coaches and personal trainers and gym owners who feel like there are a lot of other professionals who are regarded as industry experts, but personal trainers, coaches, fitness professionals are, just that ancillary nice thing that you do on the side because, it's nice to stay fit, but they're not true experts in a field. They aren't regarded as true professionals. And the last is probably the most painful of all, and this is that they're left feeling unconfident and they're not really proud enough to talk about what they do with vigor and focus and intensity at the dinner table with their families. If they're at Thanksgiving or some holiday together and everyone's, the cousin who came over who built solar-powered schools in the third world country and the doctors there and the lawyers there and the engineers there all proudly talking about their work, happy with their incomes and what they're able to provide their family, that's great. But fitness professionals, by and large, are not really feeling like they can talk like that. These problems, by the way, are exactly why we created the Coach Awareness Seminar. If you are frustrated with these things and don't want this to be your story and you would want to be on the other side of all of this, there's a link. You can go ahead and just register for the next seminar right now. And over the next 30 minutes, I'm going to show you guys some of the tools that you can take away today to start immediately being more valuable to your clients, to immediately demonstrate more credibility and expertise so that you can see what you are truly capable of and the potential that you could bring to your members to become a categorically different professional. So let's dive even more into it. The general public, in addition to fitness professionals, is hugely underserved and unfulfilled by the fitness industry. They have absolutely been failed and continue to be failed. There is a $1 trillion annual expense in the US alone. I don't know if you guys can conceptualize $1 trillion, but it's a lot of money. It's enough for all of us to make really good incomes for a long time. That $1 trillion spend in the US alone is just on obesity, diabetes, and opioid consumption. For those of you who didn't know, the United States comprises 4% of the global population. We consume 80% of global opioids. I don't know about you, but to me, that's staggering. This $1 trillion problem is the result of this huge, vast, barren wasteland where people are just falling through the cracks and not getting help. There are a lot of people and institutions in the United States that are designed around getting people out of pain and feeling good and being functional. Why is this spend still there? Why are there still so many people struggling with this? Well, what happens is we have this overarching problem where people get hurt or have some condition that maybe could have been prevented, maybe not, maybe it was an accident. And what happens is they leave the clinic's office, they leave the doctor, or they leave the physio's office, and then they are loosely helped and loosely told to ease back into it. I'm sure you guys have heard that before. Take it easy. Don't go too hard. Just go easy on it. Maybe don't put your hands up too high. When I was 23 and I had a shoulder that felt a little icky, I had a surgeon tell me, don't do too much of this anymore. Just stay to here. I was 23. He was telling me not to put my hand. Was he going to come over and put the cups in my cupboard? And this is how people are being treated. They're left alone to navigate how they're going to get back into a healthy, active lifestyle where they feel good. They're left to figure it out. They're left to their own devices. What are they supposed to do? For a marathon runner who is running 30 miles a day to have an injury that maybe could have been prevented and now be told ease back into it, well, what does that mean? Does that mean I run 5 miles? Does that mean I run 3? How do I know if I've effectively screened right, left, top, bottom, front, back, and around to understand why my knee got hurt in the first place? People are being left alone, and there are millions of people who need more help. Now, to further understand what these people are dealing with, and by the way, they're in your backyard, they might be your mother, they might be your friend, they might be your colleague, it could be you. We need to understand the difference between ADLs and ADIs. ADLs and ADIs. Your ADLs are your activities of daily living. This is brushing your teeth, being able to walk, being able to put your groceries away, put cups away in the cupboard. It's just being a person, right? Taking care of life, making sure that everything is taken care of so that you can keep just living and doing your thing. Now, most people would pay anything to have their ADLs restored. Most people would pay almost anything to be able to take a deep breath again, to be able to get out of bed by themselves, to get up off and down the toilet. Most people would pay anything to have their ADLs restored. They need it to just be alive and be a person, to get their groceries into the house. Most people would pay anything for that. There's a different kind of activity, and it's what we call your activities of daily interest. Your activities of daily interest are the things that give life meaning, purpose, where you find joy and fulfillment. It might be trail running, it might be surfing, it might be taking up a group exercise class in an exercise modality you've been interested in but nervous about, or one that you've come to know and love and has formed a big part of who you are. It could be mountain biking, and it could be dialing in with a professional for a super sports-specific goal that you need someone to help you train for. Many people would not pay a premium price for these kinds of activities. They don't care about it enough. It's not important enough that they can participate in these things that they would pay for that. And that's okay. That's their prerogative. It's their decision. They don't have to pay for these things if they don't want to. If they're not interested and it doesn't mean anything to them, they shouldn't pay for it. However, there are also many people who would and do currently pay a premium price to have their ADIs restored. Their ability to participate in these sports, hobbies, recreational activities, exercise modalities, activities during vacation with their family, it is too important for them. They couldn't imagine living their life without it. For these people, they would pay whatever it cost to be able to have their ability to participate in these sports restored. Now, it's important we understand what our current opportunity is. Who are we helping? Who aren't we currently helping? And why? Well, let's take a look. We already understand that these people are either going to be someone who does value making their ADIs a part of their life again, or not someone who cares about it. It could just be someone who's like, it's fine. As long as I can walk, I'm okay. I don't need to run. Well, we're not here to help them because they don't want it. But for the people who do, we need to make sure that we understand why we are and aren't helping them. If there are people who we want to help and aren't getting that help, we need to understand why. What I want you guys to do right now is take out a pen and paper. If you're on a laptop and you think you're going to take notes, that's fine. Writing it down with pen and paper is going to engage your brain much more effectively. I strongly recommend you take out that pen and paper. You can pause this if you need to go and get that. Now, once you have that pen and paper, I want you to list 5 people that currently need more from you who aren't getting it. Who are 5 people who want and need more and are not getting it from you right now? You need to know 3 things. What's their name? You need to know what they're struggling with. Now, do they have low back pain? Do they have a shoulder that hurts every time they put their arms overhead? Does their knee prevent them from doing various exercises they would like to do? Are they only friend in their group who can't do a strict push-up? Can they not run any longer? Can they not bike ride anymore? Can they not do the thing that they want to do without hurting? Let's write that down and start to identify why that is. The most important point of this list is understanding how that is affecting them. For those of you who are like, that sounds too mushy, I don't care, understand that if you don't demonstrate to people that you see, hear, and understand them, they won't buy anything from you. They won't trust you. They won't want to enroll for your help if they don't believe that you've effectively understood them. You have to understand how it's affecting them. How does this make them feel? How does this struggle make them feel? How does it affect their relationship with their partner? How does it affect their relationship with their colleagues? How does it affect what they can and can't do with their kids? How does it affect the vacations that they can't go on? How does it affect the bathing suit choices that they don't want to make because they don't like the idea of how they would look in that bathing suit because of what they are held back by? Let's make sure we write this down. Pause the video now and please unpack that. Take several minutes, as long as you need, to thoroughly understand the person, what they're struggling with, and how it's affecting them. Go. Okay, once you have that list, let's take a look at the next step. These people have 3 choices right now. All of the people on your list, you need to start to understand, why haven't I helped them? What are they dealing with? Well, I don't quite know how to solve for that. I hear you, okay? I just haven't approached them. I don't really know how to talk about that to them. I don't know how to start the conversation. I've asked before, they didn't show interest, and I didn't know what to do after that. I hear you. These 3 people that you are continuously not helping have 3 choices. I'm sorry, these 5 people have 3 choices. They can, 1, continue as they have and potentially worsen their situation. And typically we find that musculoskeletal problems that go unattended to, especially when it comes down to finding the root cause, they typically get worse, even if only by a little bit. The next choice that these people have is to limit their lives such that they don't experience pain. Well, for that first group who just cared about their ADLs, I can't climb anymore? All right, as long as my shoulder won't hurt, I don't need to climb. That's not who we're talking about here. We're talking about people who care about being able to climb. These people are going to have to limit their lives so that they don't get hurt, and what's going to happen is, if you don't address their problem, that typically will get worse over time, they're going to have to create more and more limitations around their life. They're going to end up in a smaller and smaller box, feeling overwhelmingly like they can't. The third option that they all have is to get help from a professional who knows how to solve their problem and can free them from their limitations. If you are at the point where you're like, all right, these people need my help and I want to be that person for them, remember, this is exactly what the Coach Awareness Seminar is for. The Active Life Seminar was designed to give you guys the tools and the eyes to see your client's movement in a way you've never been able to before. So you can start to talk to them about where their pain is coming from and what you can start to do to get them out of it. Again, that link is there if you already know you want in. And over the next 15 minutes, I'm still going to show you guys more actionable tools, a sneak peek into the seminar of what you can start to use with your clients maybe today to start more effectively communicating what your potential value could be for them so that they want to opt in to what you do. Now, all of these people on your list, they know where to find doctors. They know where doctors are. What they don't know is where to find coaches and gym owners. And more than that, they don't know what to expect from coaches and gym owners. They don't necessarily expect that coaches and gym owners would be able to help them with this problem. And frankly, as I'm sure many of you might agree, the standard in fitness, the average person who can go get a weekend seminar certification can't possibly be fully equipped to help my mom get out of her 10-year low back pain. How? How are they going to do that? Most people are not ready to solve these high-level problems, either because they don't want to or because they can't. What these people on your list do know, or think they know, is what the solution to their problem should cost. Getting bigger biceps is a $15 an hour problem, maybe $20 if it's really important to you. Getting your knees back so that you can do all the activities that you want to be able to do again without worrying about pain, that's a much higher level problem that comes with an anticipated, expected higher price. There are people who spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on surgeries, injections, therapists of all sorts, sometimes antidepressant medications. Sometimes those things don't work. My clients have been some of them. What they expect is that the solution to a high-level problem should cost more. They just don't know where to find it. What is important that we do now is understand what is our financial situation? What is your financial situation and why? What is it that led you here and what can we do to change it? Well, let's take a look. What I want you guys to do is write down now how much you take home each month. Go ahead and take that pen and paper out and write down what you take home in a month. What are you earning on a monthly basis? If this is predictable and clear, write down that number. If you're not sure because it's kind of variable, average it over the last 6 months. You can pause this video, take as long as you need to do that. Step number 2 is going to be identifying how many hours per week you work. Typically, a client comes to us and they're working 200% the hours that they think they are. So I'm going to save you guys the time and the energy and show you where I wish I had counted on my hours in the past when I was running myself ragged. This is client hours, class hours. This is admin work. This is time programming. This is setting your schedule. This is prep time for a client. This is checking in with them and communicating. This is the time that you have to research and educate yourself. All of these items here are things that most people overlook. You have to account for them. You have to account for them. You are working more than you think you are, and it's imperative to know that number if you guys want to achieve the financial clarity and freedom that you want, that maybe people told you wasn't possible in this industry. It is. Let's take inventory of that. Once you're ready, let's move on to step 3. Step 3 is to take those weekly hours and multiply that weekly number by 4.3. This is the average number of weeks in a month. You should now have your monthly hours. The final step towards gaining your financial clarity here is going to be dividing your monthly income by your monthly hours. Take the amount of money you're earning every month, divide that by the amount of hours you're working every month, and you are left with your hourly pay rate. If you were like me, and a lot of people we've worked with and helped over the past years, that number might be staggering. I know gym owners who are running an operation for 150 people who came to us for help because they realized they were working for $5.35 an hour. And they needed to figure that out. This might be staggering, and that's okay. It's important. Let's discuss the 2 pathways that you can take to start to create the massive change that we're talking about. As thousands of coaches, and in some cases clinicians and even MDs, have already done with us. You have 2 choices. We firmly believe that over the next couple of years, there's going to be a massive shift in the fitness industry. People are going to make a big cultural shift. Society is going to start to view what their fitness, health, and well-being actually can and should be, and they're going to make a very, very hard choice. You guys are either going to be the coaches, the fitness professionals, the trainers, who everyone has always known and understood, the ones solving for abs, ass, and ego, solving the lower level problems. Nothing wrong with it if that's what you want, but they're easier to do. They don't cost as much, they shouldn't cost as much. Or you guys are going to be the kinds of professionals that can solve for joint health, metabolic health, and effective mindsets such that you can keep people focused on habits that are consistently going to lead them to be able to be the kinds of people who wouldn't get hurt or sick in the first place. That is way more valuable. To be able to build the kind of person who can sprint into 100 years of age, who can hike pregnant with her second kid and not have to worry about it, who can enroll in a martial arts class for the first time at age 40 and not have to worry about getting hurt, or who can play pickup basketball game with their friends anytime they want to. It is going to have to be a decision between the kind of professional you want to be, because the space is going to be reserved for true healthcare professionals. And coaches need to fill that space. Fitness professionals need to be there because no one else can do it. I'm going to give you guys some real stories about some real people. Oh, look at that. I'm going to be the first one. It was only a few years ago that I was in your seat where you're at right now. Frustrated with the fact that I was working in a New York sports club, had 5,000 members. I knew 3,500 of them by name. I knew their dogs' names. And I was working at my peak there between 32 and 35 client hours per week. That's on the floor with clients. That's not including the admin, research, travel, prep, all of that stuff. It's not including that. Now, I loved it, and I was really good at it, and I was exhausted. I didn't have time or energy to hang out with my girlfriend at night. I didn't have time or energy to see my mom on the weekends, to take my dad out to dinner. I didn't have the time or energy. Not only that, I was getting paid 38 cents on every single dollar that I was earning, and after tax in New York, I was making $27 an hour. If you add in all those other things that I was doing with my time and divide that to find my real pay rate, I was probably making closer to $19 to $20 an hour. absolutely grinding and exhausted. I was driving a pickup truck, an old rusty one that started 3 out of 5 times. Loved it, but 2 out of 5 times, it wasn't a good morning. And something needed to change. I attended the Active Life Coach Awareness course, the Coach Awareness seminar. I attended our immersion course to be able to solve these higher level problems. And what happened on the other side of this was amazing. I had clients who were in horrific motorcycle accidents whose surgeons told, "You're never going to be able to walk again." And I got them sprinting. Literally got them sprinting. I had clients who had such stiff mid-backs from 65 years of being hunched over that people told them, "Don't use your arms too much, just, focus on lower body." And I was able to put so much motion into their spine that now their shoulders can move more than they ever had, and their neck aches just went away. 62-year-old women who can now box jump on a 24-inch box with no knee pain. These are the kinds of solutions I'm talking about you guys being able to solve for people to be able to move well into old age and be more functional than they've ever been with no pain and more energy than they've ever had. They're happy to pay for solutions like that compared to a surgeon who's saying, "Sorry, just not going to happen." Who would you rather choose to work with? Dan Rogan, coach that we've worked with, he used to be a gym owner. He decided that he wanted to just go all in on coaching. He now makes $9,500 a month coaching full time. Ian Arsvald just bought a house, his first house, as a coach. Coaches and gym owners are buying houses for their families, supporting their families as a full-time coach, as a professional coach, because they can do things that most other fitness professionals cannot or won't do. Pendulum Fitness in Pasadena, California, has multiple coaches who are training in the direction of $6,000 per month as coaches, full-time coaches, doing nothing else. Workhorse in Canada is making more money than he ever thought a gym in Canada or anywhere ever could. As a gym owner, coaches equally satisfied with the amount of fulfillment they have both financially and professionally. It is happening. It is already happening all over the country and world. What I'm going to give you guys now are 3 actionable steps and some of what we use in the seminar that we've used to help thousands and thousands and thousands of people around the world get out of pain without having to go to the doctor or missing the gym, and that we've helped educate 2,000 people on how they can effectively do the same and build seriously awesome careers doing it. The first one is what we're going to call our standing lumbopelvic flexion test. Now, you are going to instruct your client as follows. Shoes off are typically better, but shoes on are okay. With your feet comfortably under your hips and your knees extended, please reach down as far as you can. I'm not saying to the floor, my words are very intentional. With your feet under your hips and your knees extended, please reach down as far as you can. You're going to have them stay there and you're going to ask them what they feel. Points of performance for a full test are contact with the floor, knees stay extended, and they feel it only in their glutes and or hamstrings. Some examples of a limited test might be that they just can't make it to the floor, but they feel okay. Maybe they're 8 inches away from the floor, 4 inches away from the floor. Another example of a limited test, whether they get there or not, is they feel it somewhere that they're not supposed to, like their calves or their low back. I want you guys to pause this video and ask yourselves for a few examples. What are the movement implications in and out of the gym for people who are limited in this test? For people who can't do this and feel good doing it, what might be implicated in the gym and out of the gym? What movements are going to be higher risk for this person? And how could you help them if they're limited in various ways? How could you help them get the stimulus they want in the gym and out of the gym without them having to worry about it, given the limitations that they're going under? Once you can answer that question, bullet a couple of them, you could bring that to your clients immediately today, and you're going to be more valuable than you ever were. Let's take a look at the next test. Next one's called shoulder abduction. So you're going to instruct your client as follows. With your elbows extended, can you please bring your biceps to your ears? Points of performance for a full test in shoulder abduction are going to be contact when viewed from behind, contact with head and or ear, some space in between ear and trap, and when you look from the side, that the ears are covered, that the arms aren't falling forward. What are some implications of movement for a limited shoulder abduction test? So if someone can't quite get here, if you guys are thinking overhead stuff, yeah, but let's be more specific. For both pressing, being, and pulling overhead, that's true. But what about being out here? What about being out here? Is this not okay to do a lot of movements if I'm missing by 3 or 4 inches? This is going to be much more about how you have people place their hands and not about, you can't do this movement. It's going to be about putting it where their shoulders currently can responsibly move. Let's look at our next one. Dorsiflexion. This has a lot of implications, especially in the gym. You are going to have a piece of tape that is 4.5 or 5.5 inches away from an upright, box, wall, or rig. You could use a tape measure if you want. Females are going to put their longest toe at 4.5 inches away from the wall. Males are going to put their longest toe at 5.5 inches away from the wall. Keeping the heel flat, we're going to drive our knee straight over our toes to try to hit the upright. Can we touch with the heel staying on the floor? What are some implications of movement for someone whose ankles don't have full dorsiflexion? If ankles can't dorsiflex all the way, what are some implications in and out of the gym? Anything in a squat pattern is going to be implicated. Running, jumping, all of these things. If you guys were saying that, then you're absolutely right. And now what you can start to do is demonstrate why people's movement looks a certain way, perhaps, because of this. Why people are dealing with frustrations upstream when their ankles actually are the one that's causing the issue. Do you guys see why being able to deliver this kind of test, why being able to deliver and interpret these kinds of screens are going to immediately give you more buy-in, more trust, and earn you more credibility and expertise in the eyes of your clients? You can now give them more. You're immediately more valuable. You're seeing them in ways you haven't before. And now, instead of just thinking, this person is just uncueable, they just won't move the same way, well, now you understand that they have real musculoskeletal limitations that are preventing them from doing it, even though they really want to do it right for you. When you can start to talk to people about why they're hurting, why they're moving a certain way, when they might have been wasting years of their time, lots of dollars on massage balls and yoga and stretching and banding up, well, now you can start to talk to them about what they actually need to be doing to stay safe and healthy in the gym. What I want you guys to do is now think of 2 people that you know you can help if they would just work with you. Think of 2 people that you can already help. The people that you know already know, like, and trust that you can help them with certain things. So who are 2 people that you can help if they would just work with you? Write down their names, write down why they're struggling. Then write down why you're confident that you can help them. It's imperative you know why you are confident that you can help them. Let's write that down. Now I want you to ask yourself, why haven't you talked to them already? Let's make sure we understand why you haven't helped them already. We have to take a look at that. This next exercise might be the most important one you've ever completed in your life. The purpose of this prison state exercise is to help you understand where you are and, more importantly, what got you here. Your prison state is something that you share. A prison state is something we all have. Prison state is what sucks about right now, what isn't working. For many people, it's their pain. For you guys, it might be, I can't help people the way I want to. It might be, I don't know how to make a legitimate career doing this. I don't make enough money. Whatever it is what aspect of your life isn't working the way you'd like it to right now? What isn't going well? Once you can start to address this, we can start to see how you got here so we can get out. So let's take a look at these questions. What aspect of your prison state, if changed, would make it easier to change the rest of them? What's the number one reason that this is so difficult for you to change? What consistently leads you to end up being here? Well, what immediate action can you take to make number 3 untrue? Why haven't you already made this happen? What would you require to make number 5 untrue? And here's the kicker. How do you get that by tomorrow? If you guys answer this extremely honestly and extremely vulnerably, and you go all in, you don't have to share this with anyone, but if you really open up to this exercise, you should have an aha moment that leads you to have a number in your phone that you can call, either to get exactly what you need or to call the person that needs to call the person that needs to call the person to get what you need. I hope some of you guys have breakthroughs here because this is a massively powerful exercise if you go all in on it. If you guys want to be the kinds of professionals that can finally have a seat at the table with doctors, physical therapists, other clinicians, where you are regarded as a true expert in your field, we want to help you. If you want to be able to solve the kinds of problems that no one else can or wants to solve, the Active Life Seminar is the perfect way for you to start understanding how to talk to your clients in a way you've never been able to before and help them in a way you've never been able to before. Doctors and clinicians get paid well because they're good at their jobs. You need to be good at your job so you can get paid well. Something I firmly believe and say all the time is that coaches that are worth their weight should be getting paid what doctors and lawyers make, if not more. You can be an industry expert where you are collaborating at the adult table with other healthcare providers, making expert decisions for your members and clients that those other professionals have to defer to you two for. Because they can't solve those kinds of problems. Doctors aren't supposed to solve those problems. Coaches are. Fitness professionals are. Gyms are. And if you decide that you want to do that, you will finally be able to solve the kinds of problems that your members and clients wish that you would have been able to solve the whole time. You'll be making more money than you've ever made, doing what you love, keeping your clients and members happier than they've ever been, because now you are saying no to all of their limitations and freeing them from it. There's a link to register if you know you want to be there. If you act within the next 72 hours, you get a bonus for acting fast. There have been big names in the industry that have been dropping into this, and they are very, very pleased with what they're seeing, not only because of the experience and the content, but because of the fact that they're immediately able to apply it to their clients the same day. Our media team is going to make sure that it feels like you are there. Seminar used to be $1,500. A trip across the country or the world, hotel and airfare, well, it's much less than that now. And if you act in the next 72 hours, you will have a very, very fast ticket to sit up front and learn what this is all about, where we unpack for 2 days exactly the things you wish you would have always known. I'm eager to see you guys there. Turn pro.